Okay, so we've had like a 69-day hiatus, so that's cool. Um, so I guess if you're watching this on YouTube, there's been no hiatus because you've just watched the next video in the playlist. So hopefully all of our notes were accurate, and by all of ours, shout out to Andrew for actually keeping notes. Well, Matthew did as well, but technical stuff. So we've tried to refresh ourselves as best as possible and have come to the agreement to handle it thus. So, the character of Andrew, not the player, the character of Andrew, will now be going by Andy for ease. Andy and Alexander, when we left them, were in the office of the bathhouse looking at records pertaining to its history, I believe.
Sounds right.
Actual history of it, and heard footsteps coming up the stairs that seem to lead down. In the company of the bathhouse staff, Martina Wick, she sleeps there as security precaution, and also just works there as like a receptionist. And John, the lone police officer assigned to Harlow's Point, was going to Dr. Campbell's surgery. Dr. Campbell? Yeah, Dr. Campbell's practice with a member of the Holiday Village, one of the guests of the Holiday Village, who had decided after spending some time in the bathhouse that out of curiosity to see what would happen, he would just walk off of the village wall, town wall, and broke both his legs doing it, as one does. So yes, in the office behind the counter in the bathhouse is pretty much as you would expect. It is a kind of a small-ish area with table, filing cabinet, records of that kind, and as I say, you have been given the records to like the history of the building to look over, and Martina's kind of hang on, I just say Martina, right? Yeah, Martina is kind of hovering nearby. She knows that it's not quite usual to let people back here, but the successful charm check, soothed her worries. But she is clearly getting anxious about the footsteps coming up the staircase behind you, from the presumably like a basement level. So what do you do?
Is she in the room with us?
Yeah, she's kind of standing in the doorway where she can keep an eye on the front of the front desk as well as you. And you can see her looking anxiously towards the stairway.
I say to her, "Who's that going up the stairs?"
Oh, it's just our plumber Brent. He lives in the village. He doesn't work for the. Well, he's not paid staff like I am. He actually grew up here, but he still probably shouldn't see you back here. It's too late, however, as he does kind of reach the top of the stairs. He's like middle-aged guy, quite broad shoulders, well muscled, carrying just the tools of his trade in a box. He's got like grease stains on some overalls on the overalls he's wearing, and his face has got a bit of like polish maybe on it.
Mm.
He sees the two of you with the records and Martina, and kind of just raises an eyebrow in question.
So I've been told you grew up here. We're both interested in learning the history of this town. I was thinking maybe of writing a book about it. Maybe you could tell us more.
And Andy's sort of a little slow on the uptake. So he goes, yes, we tour around the country, sort of learning the history of such interesting little towns such as Harlow's Point.
That sounds like a fast talk roll from one of you.
It's not much from me.
I don't even see it. Where is it?
The left-hand column above.
I see it. Yeah, it's not going to be much from me, but because we kind of both said similar but different things, both of us try.
Help each other. Like Can you do like help actions? Is that a sort of thing in this? I'm not
I
sure.
don't believe so. It has been a while
Okay.
since I played this, but I
Okay.
don't believe that the help action is really a thing.
Well, I'll just give it a whirl. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
No.
You can try if you can try to push your roll and be like and roll it again, but if you fail it, it is also a critical, and you have to explain how you're pushing it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's give it a whirl. Let's try pushing it. Haha.
Oh,
That
no.
is a success. So how do you recover from the initial?
So I guess when I sort of first start talking, like as I say, Andy was a little slow on the uptake, so like he's looking a little sort of befuddled, and then not necessarily visibly, but in his mind, he's like, oh wait, shit, he's making up a cover story. Come on, Andy, get with it. And he like so his words go from kind of like rushed and maybe a bit stuttered to like very very like composed, much more like you would expect of an educated man like himself. So it's sort of like the manner of his speech. He sort of switches it quite quickly.
Okay. He all Brent does is just kind of quirk an eyebrow. Like the eyebrow goes a bit higher, but he doesn't push it anyway. Yeah, I can certainly answer some things.
Well, I mean, whilst we're in here, just I can't remember if this was in the records about how old the bathhouse was.
It is about 50 years old. Built in 1873.
Oh, does he look around? How old does this guy look? Sorry.
He doesn't look. Like I said, he's middle-aged, so he's like early 40s.
Okay, so he wouldn't have been here when it was
which
built
at this
then.
point would have been like upper middle age, I guess, with average lifespan. But yeah, he like this building would have been here for longer than he has, definitely.
So yeah, what can you tell us about this bat? Are you a plumber here?
Yes, I am. The new method was my creation. But he kind of starts going on about the like in-depth explanation of how the bathhouse gets its water from the river that runs down from the mountain lake, and kind of how it kind of filters out. How most of the water is filtered out back into the river and into the sea, and how he spent a large part of his kind of working life here, making sure that the rest of Harlow's Point gets the water it needs before, it gets into before the bathhouse takes the water from the river and pumps it back in, because you don't want to contaminate your water supply.
Well, this new method, what exactly is it? It seems to be working wonders for the people of this town. Have you ever thought of making it go further? You could probably make a lot of money from it.
Yes, that's very true. The people of this town seem so rejuvenated and energetic. It's remarkable.
And normal.
He frowns. I mean, it's trade secret, and there's some paperwork involved in, patenting it.
Paperwork. Paperwork's my speciality. If you need help with that.
Oh no, it's been submitted. It's just a long process. I'm given to understand.
Okay.
I mean, he looks kind of. I guess flattered is the right word. Like, not many people have shown interest in it beyond the like tell me how to replicate it way. I mean, I'm not going to obviously tell you how it works, but if you want to come down and look at it and try and figure it out yourself, you're more than welcome to. And he looks at Martina as if for permission to let you in, to let you follow him into the basement.
I'm just gonna glance over. Like, do you think we should?
I sort of like see the look, and I kind of just like give a semi non-committal like shrug of the shoulders and sort of try and make my face look like what's the worst that could happen.
So just to go back again, we had learned, hadn't we, that the sort of odd things that had been happening to people had started around the same time as the new method. Is that right? Again, I've not got my notes right in front of me. I'm sorry.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Because I remember we were investigating the bathhouse for some reason. It's because everyone who'd had the weird things happen had been to the baths. Okay, yeah.
Yes. I think all you, again, it's been like over 100 days for us. I think since the relevant session, I think all you know about like the bathhouse and the new method before coming here was that they've like people keep trying to sabotage it or something, and that's why Martina sleeps in the building.
Fair. Reasonable.
I think it was people trying to break in to figure out how it works and replicate it. Well, that's what they were worried about anyway. But yeah, you came here because of the guy clearly dressed for bathing who's just stepped off of the wall, and how the maid from who bludgeoned a guest to death had been in the bathhouse as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah. Please lead the way.
Okay. He leads the. Assuming do both of you go?
I'm definitely going down. Yeah.
Okay. He leads you down the flight of stairs, and the office you were in was functional, but there was still some nods towards aesthetic purposes. Like it could have been used as like a changing room, maybe at some point. But the basement is pure function over form. The floor is just solid stone. The walls are solid stone. The ceiling is similarly solid stone. The brass piping. Brass is a terrible thing to make piping from. The copper piping.
There we go.
Don't use brass in plumbing.
Piping. The brass in color only.
The copper piping of the bathhouse kind of runs along the ceiling, along the walls near the ceiling. It's all carefully held in place, and it is incredibly warm and humid down here. And you can see where leaks have sprung up because there's patches of discord, like there's water staining on the floor, or marks on the wall where a pipe has burst, and he's had to patch it as best he can. And there's just kind of in the vague middle with loads of pipes coming out of it, there's just this really large boiler. That's the best word to describe it. Because you can see like the firebox at the bottom with a fuel supply next to it, and it just radiates heat. Like you break out in sweat just the moment you step into this main basement. And the basement, as far as you can tell, does extend under the entire building.
Okay. Is it lit down here?
Yes, there's some electric lighting. It's small and kind of like not terribly effective, but there is enough light to navigate by, and obviously the firebox gives the dull glow of the fire.
Okay. I'm just gonna have a look around. Is there anything else? Is that sort of the only thing in here, the fire and the pipes? And is it mostly sort of like a large empty room with a big massive boiler in the middle of it?
It's a large empty room in that there's like only the three of you there because Martina stayed in the office, but it's not empty in the traditional sense because there's just loads of pipe work everywhere.
It's just pipes, right?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those rooms where the pipe work kind of forms partitions, so you've got paths you have to follow around it.
Sure. I'll walk up to the pipe, the boiler in the middle. Just see if I can see anything interesting. Maybe see. Do you know what? I'm gonna see if I can maybe smell anything. or does it make me feel any strange? Maybe, like, can I smell gas or something like that?
I thought there was a smell. There is not a smell. There is a listen, unfortunately.
I'll smell with my ears.
Tasty.
I guess itchy tasty. I guess we'll just go with the good old fallback of a spot hidden, and I'll fold
Spot
any
hidden.
sense into that.
Okay. Does that work? Does that... No? Hang on. Do I have to click on the...
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm trying to click... I'm clicking on spot hidden and it isn't doing anything.
That's how hidden it is.
It's not bringing up a new window because it should.
A new win... Oh, do you know what? Give me a second.
I don't know how it works if you pop it out.
I'd popped it out, so I'll unpop it and see what
You'll pop it back in.
There you go. I've popped it back in. There you go. Oh, fuck off. That's so
if you
close.
want to, you can spend 7 luck points to lower it.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. So
success.
that takes me down to 37 luck points. But yes, I will do that.
Excellent. You're reasonably sure that there's nothing untoward here. You can't smell any gas leaks or anything. The boiler itself and the pipes that connect it to the... so it looks like just kind of... I mean, I guess technically there's like an engineering role or something, isn't there? But I can't be bothered.
It's a repair one, but I don't think there's an actual... I was looking at that to see what I could do.
I mean,
it's mechanical repair.
It's a common sense thing. He appears to have there appear to be a series of much larger pipes in diameter that presumably, because they're like sort of regularly spaced, and then they go up through they're the ones that really go up through the floor. So they're presumably the conduits that are carrying the water to the various rooms. And he has just his air quotes new method appears to have just been to attach pipes from a boiler to those pipes, presumably piping water from the boiler into the various rooms.
So it just seems to be that there's a boiler and that's heating up the water.
Yeah, essentially.
This is very interesting. Can I ask what the old method was?
He looks like sheepish for a moment. I will admit it was mostly the same, but when I said that I had a new method for heating the water, he gestures in a vague direction, whether it's the right one or not. He doesn't care really. When the bigwigs up at the hall seemed interested in that, they started putting in all the promotional material. So really, I just changed a few things.
Since and everyone's appreciated this new method.
Well, the business is better than usual. The water does heat faster. That really it though. It's just made the whole system more efficient.
No, go on.
So it was heated with the boiler before. Did you actually make any changes to the boiler for your new method?
It looks awkward. Well, technically it was 3 boilers before, and I just made them into 1.
So it's a bigger boiler with a bigger flame?
Sort of.
Is he looking like a little like kind of sketchy maybe, or like on edge at our line of questioning?
Hang on 1 second. I need to reply to this message in chat. Yeah, Master Roll. Hey, one, and my OBS is really struggling tonight for some reason. I don't know why. I know some of its Foundry is the tabletop software is really like resource intensive, and I don't have a better solution for it than just change to a different tabletop. But this works for now, maybe, and I need to figure out what's going on with OBS. Next time I might just stream it to lower resolution, see if that works. But Yeah, OBS is really struggling. But I can't change the resolution midstream. I didn't realize it was so bad. Is it distracting anyone in chat? I guess is a good question. Anyway, sorry, what was the question?
Is he starting to get like sort of like looking a little bit nervous or shifty at this line of questioning?
More embarrassed being put on the spot, maybe.
So he says, no, like, don't worry, we're not like, we're not interrogating you. We're just really curious. Like, so your new method is, I guess, more efficient because you've only got one boiler, or is it less? Like, help me understand this. Like, I'm just really curious.
Okay, so I know nothing about plumbing, but essentially what he has done, wow, OBS really triple figures anyway. What he has done is just condense all the boilers together so that the water is kind of all three, just a larger amount of water is kept warm at the same time, so it keeps itself warm for longer. That's all he's done.
Okay. So Andy says, "Oh, okay. I mean, it's pretty smart. Interested. It's just so weird that it's had such an effect on like the bathers. Like, they talk about it like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Is that a
I think we looked this up last time. I'm pretty sure sliced bread had been invented
Yes,
by
sliced
the
bread had been
1920s.
Okay, that's not anachronistic then. Tremendous.
George V is king, guys. George V is king.
Ooh, first sold in 1928. So in fact, this is maybe not. What year?
Yeah, we're 1923, aren't we?
Oh god, my computer is like hanging up hard. I have no idea what's happening with it.
Your computer's gone to 1923 to be with the game.
Apparently so. All I did was close a window to try and help.
That was the window that was keeping everything going.
Apparently so. I don't know if that's helped or not. I mean, all we can do is keep going. So, just if something happens in Twitch chat, I can't see it right now because I've had to close it to help, and I've got no mods.
Will it not come through onto the
chat
anyway?
It will, yeah,
So
but
we'll
I
see
can't then. Actually, I think I can ban people through Foundry because of the plugin.
Tremendous.
You've gone straight to
I
100
can.
there.
I've got ban Twitch user and mute, and I think there's a timeout option as well.
Excellent.
I can.
Don't mute me.
We'll see if closing my Twitch window, my chat window helped anyway. Yeah, sorry. Continue. Just live tech problems.
What the devil was I saying? Like Andy's just a little incredulous that literally all that's different is that it's like one big boiler. So he's just like, "Are you sure? Like, is the water any different? Like so there must be more to it than just a boiler."
Oh, I mean the higher ups seem to think it was fine, and as I said, just business has been booming since we said the new method.
I mean, I guess people are kind of suckers for that. all the advertising, I suppose.
If there's nothing else we could see down here, thank you for the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I'll certainly I'll write a passage on how lovely these baths are if I do get round to writing this book. And yeah, maybe just start heading out.
Okay. As you Sorry.
It was. I'm definitely writing the book earlier. Now it's if I write the book.
Well, yeah, because I thought there was something interesting about the bats, and now there isn't. I don't know if I'm going to bother writing anything.
As you turn to leave, there is like a muffled knocking sound, like a muffled, quite rapid knocking sound from one of the pipes, and Brent obviously looks a bit confused and concerned, and kind of cocks his head listening to it.
I'm going to look at it and go, does that happen often? Is that part of the method?
No, and he kind of frowns. That's not actually part of the. That's someone banging on the pipe in the room itself.
What, in here,
Well-
do you mean?
No, and he just points upwards.
Oh.
What room does this pipe go to?
He looks at that's the public bath.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Let's go see what's going on.
I'd say I'm going to run up.
Okay. Slight time travel nonsense, as you have to do when the party is split up. John, there we go. You've left Dr. Campbell's practice. Kind of the guy with his broken legs seems fine? Question mark. Apart from obviously the leg thing, and the doctor. The doctor knows his job extremely well, clearly. And when you reach the bathhouse, you do hear kind of a cry of alarm from within. It's quite loud.
Oh. Well, I'm a Bobby. I'm running in.
Okay. You can see the presumably receptionist kind of standing in the doorway to the reception office area, kind of looking around. The cry of alarm is from one of the doors at the back of the large kind of central area. It says public bath on it, and you hear it again, and then it cuts off rather suddenly.
Oh, then I'm running in.
Okay, so as Alexander and Andy run up the stairs to the main area, you see John running across the central area towards the door of the marked public bath.
I mean, I like ran up the stairs as well.
Yep. So you can see that.
Yeah. What the devil is going on?
Now that there's no kind of now that two of you aren't in the basement anymore, and now that the cry has finished, you can hear like frenzied splashing.
Just run in, see if who can we see? Is anyone drowning?
You can see one of the guests, elderly woman, dressed in a bathing suit. She's clearly, and hat and stuff. Clearly been in the bath. Currently holding someone under the water.
Holding someone. Okay.
I'm gonna jump straight into the water and try and separate them.
Andy calls out, "What the hell are you doing, woman?"
I'm gonna run around like that side of the bath so that I'm not going in the water, but maybe so I can help John, like pull someone out or whatever.
Okay, John, on your character sheet at the top, you've got your 4 abilities.
Yes.
4 abilities, 8 abilities. I always forget power and education.
There's 8. Thank God that you changed that, because I was like, yes.
I always forget that there's a power and education. Could you click on strength and roll a strength test, please? Check, contest, challenge, whatever you want to call it. Like strength roll. There we go.
Roll. Oh.
If you want to, you can spend the 18 luck to reduce it.
Ye-
Or you can just fail. It's your choice.
yes, I will
Okay.
spend the 18
Okay.
to get it, because I'm a policeman. If I can't stop an old lady drowning someone,
What can you do?
exactly.
Exactly. Tell you what, I'm going to experiment with something, and I'm going to cover Foundry with OBS and see if that works. And I'm just going to use the preview to do it.
Oh,
Wow, that actually worked.
he's only gone and done it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Does that mean the old lady's not dead now? Have you saved her?
So you as I say, you jump in and you kind of pull them apart, and she's like really strong for someone her age. And the person that she was holding under the water is kind of still fighting, but kind of limply to break free to get above the surface of the water.
Yeah, I'm gonna help him up and push him towards. Was it Alexander?
Yes.
That was trying to help. Yeah.
I'm gonna try and pull whoever was being drowned out of the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll lift up the drowning lady herself and try and say, "What on earth are you doing?"
Okay. So that was also Andy's question, I believe. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So as Alex is helping, or not Alex, yeah, Alex is helping.
Yeah.
The elderly man kind of gasp for air on the side of the public bath. She kind of just looks around, and she's got the same kind of absent look and vacant features as the member of staff had, and as the guy who stepped off of the wall had, and just, well, I just thought it was right, We're both dying slowly.
So you thought you'd make him die quickly?
We've always liked it here. I thought it was fitting.
It's kind of a health and safety violation to kill someone in the bath. So
Can
that's just.
Can I have a look at it? Does she have the same sort of glazed expression that the guy did when he jumped off the wall?
Most definitely, yes, she does.
Okay, right. I don't need to roll any. Okay.
No. Everything is just kind of slack and neutral and calm.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say right away to John, because he. Do I know? I don't know that you've seen the guy who broke his legs, have I?
I think so. I think you knew I went to see him.
Oh yeah, because you came to the house, didn't you?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's the same. That's the same expression. There's something going on.
Yeah, I gotta say to the old lady, can you come out of the pool and just sit on the side for me? And I'm gonna let her go.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that they're just gonna listen like they did before.
Yeah, almost mechanically, she sits on the side of the pool.
I'm gonna look at the other two when she does that and just be like, eyes wide, sort of. That's all.
Yeah. Very odd.
So
the person we pulled out of the pool, are they alive? Are they breathing? Are they?
Yeah, he's like obviously a bit shaken and kind of coughs up a lot of water, but he's definitely still alive and breathing.
Does he seem glazed over?
He's definitely a bit loose in his movements, but you're not sure if that's because he was nearly drowned or
close to death.
Because he's close to death.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm going to ask him. Did she do anything weird before she attacked you?
He kind of coughs more water up. No. We were just talking about, what we'd like at our funerals when we get there.
That's cheery. Okay.
We're not that far off, son.
So you know this woman?
No, she's my wife.
This just gets weirder and weirder.
Have you had any issues recently?
He just shakes his head and kind of tries to get his breath.
Huh. Okay. This is. And how long have you been at Harlow's Point?
Oh, we're just a couple of days. We got here, and he thinks 2 days ago. This is the first time we've come to the bathhouse, but we've heard so much about it that it seemed, a good idea to come.
Did anything happen before you got in the water, or was this when you both got in the water?
He just kind of looks absently at his wife, just kind of sitting there placidly on the side of the pool. Well, she's never tried to kill me before, if that's what you mean.
I mean, did this start as you walked into the baths, or did it start when you were in the water itself?
Oh, we've been in here for a while now.
Okay. I want to take a look at John, who has obviously also just been in the water. Is there any signs of glazed overness, looseness, anything there?
I guess spot hidden or medicine.
Okay. I think spot hidden. Yes, I'd have to roll a 1 for a medicine. So
Oh boy.
Yeah, spot hidden's probably the way forward then.
Yeah.
Andy.
Oh, exactly.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
So that counts in it because I've met it. So
Yes,
that is
yeah.
right. Yeah, I don't have to beat it. Right. Okay.
No.
Okay. Great.
Before I get onto that, sorry, did you say Andy was doing something?
Yeah, he's gonna sort of try rather than look for anything out of the ordinary, just make sure John's about to suffer a heart attack, something Andy's not super good at medicine, but he's an educated man. He's read some books.
Yeah, medicine or first aid would give you that.
Wait, where's first aid?
I think it's called first aid.
It's the second one down.
Yes, I see. Yeah. It's the better of the two. So, oh, dang it, that's so close as well.
Oh.
Again, if you want to spend luck points to lower it 1 for 1, you can.
Yeah, I don't have to spend 2 luck to do that. I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll spend 2 luck points.
Right now, you don't think he's going to have a heart attack or anything. As long as he kind of can get all the water out of his lungs, which he keeps coughing it up, he'll be fine. I mean, he's got some severe bruising where he was hitting, the outlet for the water and the side of the pool and the whatnot, and his wife. But beyond that, not deliberately hitting, but flailing wildly and trying to get through. As for the other thing, no, John seems fine. You can't detect any change right now, certainly.
But being in the water for a few seconds hasn't done something instantly to him. Okay.
Not that you can tell.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn back to the man and just say, "Sir, your wife has clearly gone cuckoo bananas."
Is that the technical term?
Yeah. It's the 1920s. So
you're right. That is the technical term.
What is there anything that she has done differently from you today?
He frowns, he's kind of sitting up, arms on his knees and his head resting on his forearms, but he does look up and just shakes his head. No, we've done everything together as we have for years.
Eaten the same stuff, gone to the same places.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I had orange juice instead of coffee, but
coffee. Okay, it's in the coffee. Crack the case, boys.
It's the coffee. Knew it.
Right, I don't know where to go from there, but I'm not saying that out loud. That was
that's
just
fine.
musing. Yeah, please, man.
If you are ever stuck, like you don't know what your character might know or might think to do, there is the good old standby of the int check. To give it like an
Of
idea.
course. Yes.
I think I'm at that point. Because actually at the minute I'm so out of ideas that I would be thinking of maybe just leaving. Leaving Hollow's Point in general.
Right, yeah. I thought you
Left-
just meant like they're all in the pool. You know, oh well, bye.
No, I mean, all this mad shit's going on, and there's not, and like the only sort of hint that we had of what could be going on was this pool, but we've not seen anything that can help. And I'm a librarian. Even if there was anything, I don't know if I'd be able to do anything to help.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so we could just roll an intelligence thing to see if maybe we could get a clue out of that if we roll well enough. Is that
Yeah,
right?
it like an idea that might occur to your character that hasn't occurred to you.
Okay, I'm happy to give that a go.
Okay.
And I'm going to use another 7 points to make that work. If that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, part of this is maybe not clear communication on my part. Part of it is also the fact that it's been 69 days since we played last.
Fair, yeah.
Nice.
If the problem isn't and like, you're just kind of sitting there staring absently at the pool. If the problem isn't like instant, and the problem isn't related to the air quote new method, maybe it's related to the water.
Yeah.
Which Brent told you comes from a mountain lake.
The mountain. Is that the mountains we came past on the way in?
No. No, so
Right,
if you
okay.
on the map, the road that goes like out to the northwest is the road that you came in on.
Yeah.
And then the river's the river that the water from the lake comes in via.
Oh, so that's flowing in from the east.
From the west.
From the west. Oh,
What
sorry,
happened to
The east is the ocean.
Okay. The east is the ocean, right? Yeah, sure. That makes sense.
What happened to Samuel, but call me Sam in the end, after his injuries? Is he all right? Did they put him down?
Oh yeah, he's convalescing in the doctor's practice. Doctor's
Lovely.
surgery, sorry.
I was worried it might have been like an old racehorse or something.
No.
Sorry, Sam. You can't drive the bus anymore.
No, he's just like kind of battered from the crash, so he needed to like a few days of bed rest.
Well,
I will turn to John and to Andy. I guess we're the only people there who seem to be able to sound mind at the minute. So the plumber said the water comes from the mountains, and maybe there's something growing further up the lake. Maybe. I mean, okay, that's it. Would I know that some things may be hallucinogenic? Yeah, I'm just thinking of like what things that could affect the water like this.
Oh, almost certainly, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There could be something growing or something dead in the water that is this causing people who are in it for too long to have this sort of breakdown. Shell shock. Sorry, I should say. In the
Are there,
20s.
Nervous episode, maybe?
Yeah.
are some of the owners in the
hysteria?
Oh yeah, hysteria. Are some of the owners in the room? Like the secretary or the
yeah, the receptionist is definitely kind of hanging awkwardly around.
Well, I haven't met them, but I'm going to look at her and go, are you in charge here?
She kind of at the moment, yes.
Shut it down now. The bathhouse is closed.
She kind of takes one look at the uniform and just nods. Yes, of course. And then
by authority of King George V.
She
and the future existence of sliced bread, mass-produced sliced bread.
she goes to the turns around and leaves the doorway, and like a moment later, there's a message over the tannoy to the effect of, "The bathhouse is closed. Please make an orderly. Please leave in an orderly fashion."
Nice. I'm gonna turn to the old man and I'm gonna say, I think you should perhaps stay on your own for a little bit. Your wife will hopefully be fine, but I'm gonna send her to the doctors.
Yes, of course. Thank you. He seems to be in shock about the whole thing.
Yeah, and then I'll turn to my 2 deputies and I'll say, "Looks like we're going to the mountain, boys." And I'm doing finger guns at them.
Andy rolls his eyes hard. He hates this sort of jockishness.
I mean,
Give him a book any day.
I'm actually a little excited. It's been a little while since Alexander's had any adventure, so this could be quite fun.
Actually, I just realised they never told me about the mountain. Okay, you told me about the mountain, then I said,
Yeah, no,
let's go to the mountain.
I did just say that. Yeah.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking he's doing that, and you're like,
maybe we should follow the river up the mountain.
yeah, and then I assume you tell me about the tapping and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, we like sort of on as we like maybe set off towards the mountain, like we regale you with everything we saw in the basement of the bathhouse.
Yeah. Did you? So what was making that tapping?
It was the old man banging on the pipes.
Yeah. Brent said it was tapping on the pipes.
Nice. Everything's fit together.
As we leave, well, I guess, is there anything we're doing before we leave the bathhouse, or?
I might dry off and change my trousers because I just jumped into a pool.
Okay. As that.
Because it's snowing, right, Ryan?
Well, I'm just going to say, is it still snowing outside when we go out?
Yes, it is. In point of fact.
Yeah. Okay, so I will definitely wear dry trousers.
Is it heavy? Is it deep?
No, it's a light snow. Light snow. I mean, it hasn't had chance to really.
There you go.
Yeah.
It
hasn't really had chance to melt, because of the just remote nature of it. It hasn't really had chance to melt along the riverbanks and up into the mountains. So you expect it will be reasonably deep, as it has been. It has been like at least a day's worth of snow.
On our way out, I'm gonna ask the receptionist. Just say, when people go up into out of the town in this sort of weather, are there any? I was gonna say snowmobiles, but it's the 1920s. So are there any tennis rackets we can tie to our shoes? I guess that's the most equivalent
you would
snowmobile, isn't there?
You would have snowshoes in the 20s.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Are there any huskies lying about?
They do have some snowshoes, because it happens occasionally. Like, it's a remote place on the coast where snowfall does happen, and they do occasionally need to go out for help or supplies.
Sure. I will. Well, yeah. I mean, I'll ask it. Are there any here? Are they in the town? Where would we pick those up?
You'd have to get them from the. Well, I think the police station has them, actually.
Ironic. Just come from there. It's the other side of town.
Do you want to? I know, but it'll probably take much longer for us to get up the mountain without them than it will to take you to get there and back.
True.
So do you want to go get them?
Yeah, I'll take killy old lady with me as well.
Okay. And put it
Starting to collect. I'll drop her off at the doctor's perhaps on the way, if it's on the way. Otherwise, I'll
yeah,
take her to the jail and tell the doctor to come to the jail.
No,
Forget
the doctor's is on the way.
Ah.
And when you open the door, there's like 3 people just sitting, waiting patiently in the doctor's kind of waiting area. All of them just kind of staring blankly at this into space. Just kind of calm body language, just sitting, waiting like they've been told to.
I'm gonna ask them all before I go. Have you been to the bathhouse recently?
They have all indeed been to the bathhouse recently.
Okay.
All tainted.
I'm just gonna. I don't know. Oh, God, just set fire to the policeman's, to the doctor's house and run. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'll go to the police station, get the stuff, get some big jackets, get a couple of huskies and sleds if they got them, but they probably don't. But it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
I assume
you've
like
got-
all police stations have huskies and sleds.
Obviously, especially in tiny fishing towns.
Tiny
Obviously.
fishing towns, yeah. Do they have a tiny police boat, perhaps? Like,
Tiny police
You
boat.
do have access to a police vessel.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
Is it a horse?
No, they had to pilot it, but there is a boat available for your use on the dock.
How big is this river that we're going to follow?
It's not big enough for the boat that you have access.
Okay, yeah, okay. I was
Aw.
just checking because
to. No, your
how
boat.
cool would
your
it have been if those two jabronis are waiting for me in the sort of bathhouse,
Jabronis.
and I turn up on a boat? They'd be like, "Oh wow!"
your boat is there for like. I realised that the preview had frozen. Your boat is there more for like smuggling for anti-smuggling operations,
For smuggling,
or for people who might
Nice.
get stranded at sea or things like that.
Ah, yeah. No, I'm a
So
lifeguard too.
It's
Nice.
an ocean going vessel.
Okay.
Not a mountain going vessel.
No.
Guesses.
As that's happening, I'm going to go back to my little accommodation, which was just on the other side of the wall to the bathhouse, wasn't it?
It was. Yes.
I'm going to put on a big vest underneath my shirt and some warmer trousers and some big boots to put on for, until I get my snowshoes. And I'm also going to pick up my revolver and put it in my big coat. Well, because I think we might come across wildlife or something.
Packing heat.
I've got a revolver that I can sort of hide quite easily, so I'll put that just in case we come across anything dangerous.
That's fair.
As a veteran of the First World War, I've not really gone anywhere without that. And, gotta be
Maybe
careful.
when we go back to the bathhouse, I can ask the boiler guy if there's any sort of wildlife I need to know about.
He relays, as far as he is aware, that there is no kind of native wildlife you need to worry about.
No bears.
Astonishingly, on the northwest coast of England, there are no bears.
No elk.
No elk.
Penguins.
No.
You mean penguins?
None of those either. No.
Oh, that's a shame. I love penguins.
Also, I'm having to use chat on my phone due to the computer issues. So
Oh,
Disaster.
I swear I'm not like just randomly on my phone. I'm not being rude. He tells you that as far as he knows, there's no native fauna that you need to worry about.
Oh, excellent.
Apart from mosquitoes, but it's the wrong time of year for those.
Dang mosquitoes.
And I don't think my 6 shot's going to be very useful against mosquitoes either.
Probably
My
not,
elephant gun might be. Boom! Oh damn! I missed. Give me 10 minutes to reload.
Can you really miss with an elephant gun though?
A mosquito, probably.
I mean, mosquitoes won't like the elephants. Their skin's probably too tough.
I mean, that's the whole ear thing, right? That's where the skin is thinnest. Anyway, don't stop bringing elephants into this.
Right, nothing.
Don't give us an elephant gun then.
Yeah, you're right. That's on me. It's entirely my fault.
This is your fault.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
Oh, dang it. There it is.
Very good.
So you're grabbing the snowshoes and I assume the cold weather gear from the police station.
Yeah, any lamps, that sort of stuff, you know.
That's fine. And Alexander's doing the same, but just from his, as best he can from his belongings.
Personal stash.
What is Andy doing, if anything, for preparation?
He's gonna get himself some snowshoes. He's gonna wrap himself up as warmly as he can. He's gonna make sure his elephant gun's in good condition. He's gonna bring that with him.
That is fine. Everything is intact and well looked after.
Good.
And you can...
wonder what we might find at this lake that's making people loving elderly wives try and murder their husbands.
That's fair. I'm just going to make the assumption that you arranged to meet at a half an hour hence kind of situation.
We were definitely that sensible.
I
yes.
could probably put 2 vests on in that time. Yeah.
Wait a minute, you guys are all getting your own cold weather gear. What was the point of me going back and getting it?
You've got the
Because you have
official
the
cold...
snowshoes.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have the snowshoes, and your cold weather gear is purpose made rather than just piling on the layers.
Okay. Has it got police written on the back?
It does, in fact, have police written on it.
Oh yeah.
No one is going to have any doubts about who you are in this situation.
With the other 2 wearing it, I might have to pull off the word police so they don't think they're the police. So I don't want
Well, you've deputized us though, right?
Yeah, but I'll leave ice so they think you're ice people. In case ice people attack.
I mean,
they'd be like, "Oh, look at them! Yeah, they're one of us." Okay, I've gone mad. So let's carry on.
But it's Call of Cthulhu. It's a possibility.
That's true.
You meet at the prearranged time, and as this is the 1920s, the cold weather gear or the layered clothing just makes you look like you're all really, really puffed up and awkward.
Nice.
But you can
so like my normal self.
I mean, you didn't have to put yourself down, but you can follow the river easily enough. It's wide. It's not particularly deep, but it's kind of fast flowing, so it's not really freezing, and you can hear it even when you have to take a detour around exceptionally deep snowdrift or small stands of trees. You can find your way back to it easily enough, and it takes about an hour and a half. So it's about midday-ish, although it's so cloudy up here that you have no idea where the sun is. About an hour and a half. Hey, Kiwi guy. Webcam froze? Oh, is it back? It's about an hour and a half-ish before you reach the mountain lake itself. The storm clouds above are kind of flickering with light. You can't tell if it's lightning or some kind of lightning bolts or ball lightning or St. Elmo's fire, that kind of thing. And the snow continues to fall all around you.
Can we see much at all, or is it just very? Is it too snowy?
The lake itself is kind of this large, flat expanse of water. I don't know why that word escaped me. It's a lake. What else is it made from? Large.
Ice.
It is not iced over.
Okay.
Which, I guess, do any of you have an int of, let's say, 49 or lower?
No.
Nope.
I'll assume Alex doesn't, being a librarian.
Oh, sorry, I did say no. Sorry.
Okay, sorry. The microphone didn't pick it up. It should be frozen over. It's not running. It's a lake.
And it's not frozen over.
But it has not frozen over.
Andy says, "Hey, that lake's not frozen."
I will take off a glove and sort of put my knuckles just on into the edge of the water and just feel how cold does it feel? Because obviously, if we know it should be frozen, is it freezing or is it warm?
No, I get that. It is as cold as you would expect it to be in the situation.
Okay.
Like if you do it near where the river is, where the kind of the water leaves it as the river, and you kind of put your hand in the water in the river as well, they're both roughly the same temperature, as far as you can tell, with suddenly like really cold hand.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like icy cold water that hasn't frozen.
Yes, most definitely.
Yet. Okay. Okay. Does it smell like the ocean at all? Does it smell salty, or like the sort of smell you get at the beach, that sort of thing?
Yeah. I mean, there is still the sea air smell because you're relatively close. You're pretty close to the sea here. But you don't think this is salt water. That this is probably fresh water or melt water from the snow.
Is there any animals nearby or fish in the water or?
Make a spot hidden, please. Spot hidden. Test roll. There we go. We'll go with the roll.
No thanks. It's really bad. Actually, mine's alright. Actually,
I'm not going to give you information for free.
Knowledge is power.
Give me information.
You can see a couple of fish in the water, just kind of holding position. That weird kind of occasional tail flick that fish will sometimes do.
Yeah.
There are some birds just kind of perched in like tree branches or on small rocks, not really moving. And there's definitely kind of some odd shapes in the snow that are possibly animals covered in snow.
Okay, that's
in
good.
Like dead animals.
Well, the lumps aren't moving, whether they're dead or not. They might be asleep. They might be hibernating. Well, they might be hibernating, I guess. But...
Is there anything very... So, I was coming up here looking for either like something dead that was sort of contaminating the water, or some sort of plant or fungus or something that could be contaminating the water. Do I see anything like that on the water's edge, or as far down into the water that we could see?
Again, make spot hidden. Which, if you have no idea, spot hidden's like the catch-all see everything roll.
It's a perception check, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically a perception check. But
glorious,
every 5
perception.
minutes, yes.
But this is an investigative game, then you know.
Oh, definitely.
You can't see anything that kind of matches what you were expecting. Like the water has this weird iridescent sheen to it every now and then, but you can't see any direct cause for it. Not with that roll, anyway.
Okay, so the animals are staying quite still, so that's similar to the people.
That's clever, that. Okay.
Is there anything... Can I go towards some of these birds? Because I assume they would fly away if they were normal.
They do not fly away or approach.
Okay, I'm going to go right up to one. And then pick up a stick and sort of poke it gently.
Okay. It kind of is pushed backwards by the stick. Doesn't fall off the branch. It is still holding onto it.
Oh yeah. I'm not doing it
yeah.
hard enough to like.
Yeah,
I'm not like I'm not playing baseball here. So.
And snooker. No, it moves with the stick, but it doesn't fight it.
I'm just gonna call back to the other guys, going, "This ain't right, guys."
No, something very much is afoot.
The numb feeling on Alex's hand where it pushed into the water, like the hand is warming up as it does, and I assume you put your glove back on, but there's still like a numbness to it.
If it's still numb a few minutes later, I'll sort of pull the glove off again, just have a little look. Does it look? Has it got changed colour? Or is it is it just still like pink from the cold, or is it?
I mean, it's still pink from the cold because it warms up slowly, but it seems fine. It's if you had to like describe it, it's more like it was touching the inside of the glove or the air now. It's almost like there's a second invisible glove on top of it. Like there's just a slight disconnect in your sense of touch.
I'm just gonna like poke it a little bit and just see, or maybe like rub my other hand on top, try and warm it up a bit. Does it regain any feeling?
I mean, you get feeling back. It's just less feeling than you perhaps would expect.
Okay, I'll put my glove back on and then put the hand in my pocket and just try and get it as warm as possible.
Okay.
But again, I'm gonna look into the water. Does it see? You said it's got a sheen on the top. Does it look oily or anything, or does it?
The sheen is like here and there in tiny spots, and it just kind of blossoms for a moment and then fades as if it's just dissipating beyond cohesion.
I'm gonna say I think that there's something growing in this water. There's some plant, there's some fungus, there's something that's growing deep in here, and it's not good for people who are bathing in it. I think we need the town to stop using this as a water supply. It's making people very unwell.
Interesting.
Yeah, I agree. These animals are not acting like animals, which could explain why every Tom, Dick, and Harry is acting crazy.
Yes, certainly something is amiss.
The clouds above you kind of continue to kind of roil with colour, hidden deep within them. The snow continues to fall, and the birds themselves are starting to get like a small layer of snow building up on top of them. They don't care. They don't mind.
Okay, that's really weird.
I think maybe we should head back. If it's just the snow's getting heavier, there's no point in us getting stuck up here. We know there's something in this lake that's not good.
Can I like take the candle out of one of the lamps and put one of these birdies in it? I'll brush the snow off it and put the bird in.
Yeah, you can.
I want to take
the bird.
I want to take it with me, to sort of see if I can discover anything from it, but I don't actually want to hurt the bird because
No, that's fine. You can do that.
I love birds.
You kind of as Alex as you stand there and kind of watch John do this, like the numbness is spreading slowly up your arm, and the more it spreads, the less concerned you are with it. Kind of, it's just really nice here. It's just kind of, you just want to stay here.
Well, yeah. Okay, then I stare. I start looking out towards the lake.
As you are less impeded by thought currently, And like this is
I'm gonna start using that whenever I meet someone who's stupid.
that's not.
Less impeded by thought.
It's more. I mean,
That's how I live my life. To be fair.
it's more that you don't really care about stuff that much right now.
Okay.
And ordinarily, I wouldn't do this to a player, obviously, but because this is
No,
this
of
is like a
course,
limited
yeah.
run one shot thing.
Mhm.
One shot session number 3.
You
Sorry.
as you are watching the just staring out over the lake, the snow continues to fall, and you realize that it's the snow that's making the pretty patterns on the surface of the water, where it falls from the clouds above and it kind of melts into the lake, even though it shouldn't, and forms almost flowers of colour.
Oh.
I'm just staring out. I'm trying to watch as many snowflakes hit the water as I possibly can.
So I'm gonna have a look at the water with a bit more detail. Can we see anything under the water?
Again, I mean, you've already made a spot hidden.
I don't mind doing another one because I was
No.
sort of looking at the birds before.
Okay, if you want to make specific stuff about the water, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
66.
The water's clear, it's deep, and as with the rippling iridescent sheen every now and then, kind of distracts you a little bit, but you can see quite a way into the water just because it's so clear, really. There's not much in it. I mean, there's the fish, obviously, and the rocks at the bottom of it, and the general water plants. But there's nothing of particular note in the water. But it's kind of, the more you stare into it, the more you just want to keep staring into it. And it's just really pretty to stare into the water.
Andy's kind of just he's not really sure what to make of it all, but can you recall having read any history about Harlow's Point? Has he come across anything in his dealings as an antiquarian?
I think it's a history thing, right? If not, if all else, yeah, history or library use, I guess. If you want to do specific, I guess we could say library use if you specifically looked at information on this before coming, or history if it's just off the top of the head.
Yeah, Andy probably would have looked a little bit into Harlow's Point, I guess, before coming. But not necessarily hugely, but sure, let's go for a lot. Excellent. Oh, excellent.
Oh, nice.
It's a old fishing village, as I mentioned. That like about 50 years ago, like when the bathhouse was built, kind of rebranded as a destination for for health purposes, to visit the coast, restore health, as the Victorians were wont to do. And kind of since then, it's limped on as a destination for the wealthy to visit. And then after the Great War, the current management moved in and turned it into the first of its kind in the United Kingdom, a holiday village kind of situation. As far as your reading led you to conclude, it's always had the lake as a natural water source. I mean, it is plumbed in, obviously, to other water sources. But the lake's always been there. They've always fished in the ocean nearby. The fields nearby have always been farmed.
It's basically nothing remarkable, really.
It's just kind of an average coastal fishing town.
And Andy's sort of interest within antiquities and such has always been occult things. So, like, has he ever encountered like anything, even not necessarily specifically Hallows Point, but anything in like the region, or from the region, or mentioning the region that was kind of occulty?
That is a good question. Why don't you make an occult roll?
Sure. Oh boy.
Do you
Oh
not
boy.
have 31 luck points left?
I do have. I have 73
Do
luck
you?
points.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
Let's go, boys! So.
I'm sorry, I was joking because I've got a lot less than that.
No. I will spend 29 luck points to make that.
Who's a lucky boy? Who's a lucky boy?
Okay. So, with that, like, just kind of staring with intent around it, you're trying to recall any possible information, any shred of evidence that would link you to anything you've ever read in your life at this point. Hey, Foundry, I guess, disconnected from Twitch. And at first you think you've hit a blank, like you've hit a wall, there's nothing, it's entirely unprecedented. And then something like tickles the back of your mind, and you focus on that, and it's like it's a fisherman's story you read, not from Harlow's Point, but from someplace like 20 miles down the coast, about a storm out at sea. They thought it was a lightning storm at first, but it was like the boat was lost at sea for 3 days in a blizzard, and when it eventually kind of made land, all hands were still on deck and were still alive, but were calm, without ambition or will.
Interesting. So Andy suddenly sort of like snaps his head sort of up and exclaims, "Hang on! I've just remembered an old fisherman's tale I once was told during some of my dealings. There was a fishing ship, maybe 20 miles, based in a port about 20 miles south of here. It was lost at sea for a few days, and it was what at first I thought was a thunderstorm. It turned out they'd been trapped in some sort of at-sea blizzard, and the key detail I was told was that when the crew came back to shore, they were all creepily calm and kind of they'd lost their any ambition they had, and it's almost like they'd lost their free will. It almost sounds like what's happening here.
I just go.
Do you think it could be the snow?
Andy looks up, sort of upwards into the sky, and says, "Possibly. I don't see why not."
Because the snow is going in the lake, which goes into the bathhouse, but also the snow is on the animals. And I'll hold up the lamp, hold up the bird. These animals, they're acting weird.
It's also the drinking water for the town.
Oh crap! I just glugged 10 liters before we went on our mountain walk.
Should we have like a bottle on them that we can maybe take a sample of the lake water in case it's useful later?
Sorry, Ryan. At this point, how much how am I? Do I have any sort of? Can I see what's going on, or am I just fully 100% looking out at the lake? Do I have any independence at all from this right now?
You do have independence, but it's kind of like everything is just a passing idle thought rather than drive to act upon anything.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, then I just ignore what we said and just keep looking at the lake.
Okay. So you can see out of the corner of your eye, Alexander's just kind of staring out.
I was about to say, like, have we noticed? But
Oh,
obviously we have.
yes, yeah.
So like up until this point, Andy was too sort of wrapped up in his own kind of like thoughts and that tickle in the back of his mind, and he sort of realizes that Alexander's just kind of standing there a bit vacant. So he says, "Alexander, are you okay?"
I'll maybe nod slightly, but for no real, as if I've barely noticed you.
So like
Hmm.
Andy like he walks over and kind of just like taps Alexander on the shoulder, or no, less taps, sort of just puts his hand on his shoulder to sort of like turn his face towards him.
I think my very my very glazed over blank expression would meet yours then.
Andy turns to John and says, I think there's something wrong with Alexander."
John, you care, but it's a very, very distant care. Like you know on some level that you should care more than you do.
So what's that? That's not my problem, is it?
Aren't you the police though?
Does that help snap me a bit back, or?
Not really. No, like you know that you are the police, or you are a police officer, I should say, and like you should care, but like
I am the
why
law.
bother? There's just it's so peaceful here. You could just lose yourself just looking out at the vista.
Hmm.
And again, ordinarily I wouldn't do this during a game, but it's a limited one shot thing.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No worries. I'm gonna sort of keep looking at the water and just go, yeah, but you don't have to be. No one makes you.
Well, why don't we go back to town, you two?
I mean, you go back. I'll just.
No, we should all go back. Yeah, you'll freeze to death otherwise.
I guess. I suspect I go with him.
Yeah,
But-
you're like
yeah.
it's essentially you're both in a very suggestive state.
Hmm.
Look, let's go.
I'll nod and follow, but I will keep looking out at the lake as we're sort of walking down. I'm keep turning back.
And it's sort of noticing this, Andy like starts walking behind, and kind of like just kind of gently shoves him every time he like looks around the lake.
What do you plan to do with John and Alexander when you get them back to Hollow's Point?
By my reckoning, they need a fire, a nice blanket, and some scotch.
Okay.
Yes, it is the 20s. A slap and a scotch.
Pretty much, yeah. So I'll take them to like the hall and say these two need blankets and scotch and a fire.
Okay. The hall has a much depleted staff, to the point where the manager of the whole business is helping, and fetches the relevant blankets and scotch. And you did notice as you walked through the town that there were just a lot of people just kind of standing, just staring, just not really doing anything at all.
Very strange.
Does the owner get a very small scotch for my bird?
He does not. It does not occur to him to fetch a thimble of scotch for the bird.
That's rude.
How dare he? But in the God, I'm really bad at kind of wrapping things up. The snow continues to fall for another couple of days, and Alexander and John don't get any better. They don't get worse, but they don't get better. An important question is: Does Andy go in the bathhouse? Does he go in the river? Does he go into the ocean?
Walking, Reginald Perrin just walks out into the sea.
No, Andy's quite concerned about what's happened to John and Alexander, so
Okay. So
he kind of stays by their side.
the snow continues to fall for 3 days. Well, another 2 days, I guess. And as the time progresses, eventually it ends up being Andy and the more senior staff of the hotel who are kind of rushed off their feet getting everything sorted. The doctor quickly becomes overwhelmed by people who are, for all intents and purposes, just waking comas, sorry. Who have been caught out, and it's just quiet. Every sound, if you go outside, is muffled by the snow, and the cloud slowly dissipates. The strange lights that kind of have been get brighter over the course of the 3 days just eventually fade into nothing, and the snow lies soft and heavy upon Harlow's Point as a shroud upon the land.
Oh.
And that would be William's first brush with things man is not meant to know about. Not William, Andy. Andy's brush with things man is not meant to know about.
Oh my!
It's kind of usually. That was it. I hope you enjoyed it, but just to.
I enjoyed that so much. That was so much fun.
Some thought process stuff. The mythos kind of, if you buy any of the published campaigns, they're usually a lot of we'll go from point A to point B, and we'll deal with cults along the way. Sometimes the cults will have like the horrors man was not meant to see, or humankind was not meant to see or deal with. But inevitably, you'll end up with there is this plot MacGuffin that we need to get to perform a ritual to save the world, and like one of the pre-written adventures.
I've seen Marvel movies before.
Yeah. And like equally, if you read the novels, which if you do, please be aware, Lovecraft is very problematic. He was so racist at the time told him to tone it down.
Well, yes, I'm sure we all recall what he named his cat, was it, or dog, whichever.
His cat,
yeah.
God.
But in his works, people generally his protagonists are just every people. They're anyone on the street. A lot of the time they're an academic, because that's like they're inquisitive. They're looking for stuff. But they'll come up against something in the mythos, and they'll try to rationalize it, and they can't, obviously. And he uses the word madness and insanity, but it's not in the way that not even this game portrays madness and insanity, for that matter. It's not mental health issues. It's his protagonists become aware of an entirely different state of being and can't really deal with that knowledge in a way, and it sets them apart, and they just retreat into what we understand as mental health problems. But there's a very fine line, and I didn't want to do that either. It was kind of wanted to hint at the wider world of the mythos, being there's stuff out there we cannot possibly hope to explain, but also not have the go after a MacGuffin or hey, here's a monster, it's going to attack people.
I thought we were going to find an elder god in the basement of the bathhouse.
You were intended to think there was something there, so I'm glad that worked out.
Yeah, I for sure thought it was going to be maybe human sacrifices fuel the flames to heat the bath or something.
The actual Cthulhu is in the basement of that house, and
Or just like chilling.
the only thing that can destroy it is an elephant gun.
I'll tell you, in the short story, The Call of Cthulhu, they deal with Cthulhu by driving a steamboat into him.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I've not.
poor
I've
guy.
read. I've read quite a bit of the Lovecraft stuff, but I've read an awful lot more of like other people writing
Yeah.
like Cthulhu mythology, which I find a lot better than his stuff. I think because a lot of it's not as problem. Like you just don't find that every time they're referencing, people from other cultures, it isn't just massive racial tropes.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Oh,
No.
I enjoyed this very much. So
Yeah,
it's
really good
incredibly different to any other sort of like TTRPG that I've played before. Because I couldn't just cast detect magic every time we found something a bit peculiar.
It really does make you use your wits.
Yeah.
I like
It really taught me I cannot be a policeman.
No, it's because the emphasis on this is on investigation over outright fighting things. And like obviously you can see how many hit points you have. Like you're lucky if you have over 15. And that's easily like one or two attack. Well, being hit once or twice is very likely, and it will. If you don't have a major wound, you just fall unconscious. But a major wound is when you take like half your hit points and damage in one go. If you have a major wound and you hit 0 hit points, you're just dead. You cannot live through it.
Oh,
And healing takes a while. The emphasis is definitely on thinking things through.
Is there leveling up and things like that, or is it the stats you have at the start? Do they stay the same? Can you build up things like the Cthulhu mythos stuff? Can you build?
So the way development works, so at the end of every session, you see if you regain any luck. You roll the d100, and if you get equal to or over than, you then make a luck. You then roll a d10 and gain that much luck. There wasn't really any sanity stuff in this beyond that. I thought like you see one kind of vaguely unnatural thing, and all of the other unnatural things were so similar that I see the need for it. But if you lose sanity, you can regain it by like completing objectives in an adventure, like putting a cult down, doing something that restores your sense of connection to the world, or you can enter an institution for a period. Seek appropriate medical help.
I'm sure that's great.
hey, that sounds too healthy to me.
That's a great role play. You all end up in the Priory for 3 sessions.
And then
I come here to avoid my issues, not go through them.
when you were rolling, when you were making dice rolls, I was asking you to mark I think it's like the yellow. Oh, whoops.
Yes.
The yellow thing. That's for when you reach like the end of an adventure. You can make an improvement check. Essentially, it's you make the roll, but you need to get over your current score. And if you get over your current score, you roll d10 and you add it to your score.
Oh, dang. Cool.
Okay.
So it means that so if you're rolling things you don't have any necessary training in, you're more likely to improve on them through practice. Yeah. Whereas if you're trained in something, it's obviously that much harder to get better at it.
Okay.
That's how advancement works. You never really increase your core like statistics of strength, constitution, appearance. If anything, that's more likely to go down.
You mean my appearance? I can't improve my appearance?
Not without dropping a lot of money on cosmetic surgery, I guess.
Well, good job I had some amount of money.
Your credit rating drops massively, but your appearance goes right up.
And then, with specific regards to the Cthulhu stuff that you mentioned, you have a Cthulhu mythos trait. You increase, so that starts at 0. That's the only thing that starts at 0. And the only way to increase that is by engaging with the mythos, whether like face-to-face encounters and just kind of studying the creature, finding forgotten tomes, reading them, and then like each one has your mythos rating goes up by this amount, but your mythos rating is subtracted from your maximum sanity. So the more you know about the mythos, the like lower your sanity will be potentially.
Okay.
Huh.
That's good. I like that.
Because your maximum sanity starts at 99. It's completely different to your starting sanity. You can go above your starting sanity through, as I say, like psychological assistance or
Being super sane.
just doing stuff to improve your sanity and connection to the world. But yeah, the more mythos stuff you know, the lower your maximum sanity can be. If you ever reach sanity of 0, your character